Welcome to Woodbine Racing Live. I'm joined with a very special guest here in Bob McClure. First things first, happy holidays. How excited are you for the holiday season?
Oh, very fun time to be with family and get a big break. So everybody enjoys it.
Any exciting plans?
I just hang out with family. You know, I got a 4-year-old son, so it's a pretty exciting time for him.
Awesome. First of all, congratulations on the O'Brien nomination for Driver of the Year. This is your third one. You got to be feeling pretty good about this one, huh?
Well, hopefully third time's a charm. I think a pretty even race between me and Louie, and you know, if it doesn't happen, maybe we'll have another shot next year, but looking forward to it.
I definitely think they got it right, and two deserving nominees, of course. And you're in the top 5 in winning drivers of 2019. You know where you're currently standing?
Third?
Third, yeah, exactly. So the Hambletonian obviously is, would you say, your biggest win of your career?
I think it's the biggest win of anybody's career. If you win the Hambo, that's the first one that comes to mind. I was just really fortunate enough to have the right horse on the right day.
Hopefully we can get a roll of it. Here we go, exactly. You want to talk us through this drive? When did you feel like you had it in the bag, if you ever did feel that way?
No, I didn't. When I come off cover, I figured Green Shoe was going to go right by it, but I was pretty excited that I thought I had second wrapped up, and then Green Shoe got by, and then just in the late stages he kind of backed off a bit and mine dug in, and right down by the wire it kind of sunk in, and it's like, wow.
Do you remember exactly like the moment when you crossed the finish line, what went through your head? Was there anything in particular, or was it just elation?
It was kind of shocking to me. We weren't quite at the wire yet. We were steps away from the wire, and Brian Sears looked over and went, "Congrats, kid." I was like, "Well, we're not there yet." And that's when I was like really just wow, you know.
That's amazing. And you've done fantastic transitioning over to the larger oval. Obviously, I know you were super busy racing at the B tracks. What's it like schedule-wise? Obviously, it's a lot less taxing and a lot less traveling, but what's been the biggest change, as you could say?
The biggest change, well, it is a lot lighter schedule. I was racing 7 nights a week all year, running the roads. Now, got a house 20 minutes away, 4 nights a week in the winter, 5 nights a week with travel in the summer. It's a pretty cushy job. Up here, like in Canada, we have it really good. You know, we get to drive a lot of really nice horses every night. We go for good money, and it's not overly strenuous. I don't know another driver's colony that only has to drive 4 nights a week, and you know. So I think we're really fortunate here, and it's just cushy.
So yeah, so you've obviously raced on the half-mile tracks, now 7/8, and the added distance races, you've had a lot of success in them. You have 2 wins and 1 4th-place finish. What can you say about them? As a bettor, we certainly love them. They've produced a lot of good prices, but what's been, if there's been any type of tactic you've executed, or does it depend on the horse?
I kind of use the same tactic every single race. And whether I'm, the other day I think I was a favorite and went to the back and never left the wood. And that's just it doesn't matter what my odds are in that race, I just, same thing every time. And sometimes I get shuffled and spit out the back, and with Charlie as a joker and on a sunny day, it just worked out. But that's it. That's the only strategy I put into it, is I hit the back and don't move off the wood.
I mean, it's certainly been paying off for you, so can't fault your strategy yet, thus far. So any up-and-coming prospects with determination, or just in general, any yearlings at the barn that you've heard some rumblings about, anyone that's caught your attention, excited to drive in the future, maybe?
Well, I saw at the yearling sales that they bought a brother or a sister to be a magician, so that's pretty exciting. I think Port Perry, he was a really nice 2-year-old. If he comes back sound this year, I think he'll be a nice colt. And obviously Forbidden Trade coming back at 4, that's pretty exciting.
Who would you say is the best horse you've ever had the privilege of driving thus far? Is it Forbidden Trade?
It's probably, I should say Forbidden Trade, but Moticon's right there. Moticon was just different. You know, Moticon was so unique. She was such an aware horse. Like, I know I'm trying to beat it to death, but she was so aware she was in a race. She was so aware that she was supposed to win. And when she was on the track in the post parade, you know, it was a bit of a wrestling match. And then, you know, I've had some horses, you turn to the gate and they'll wheel and go the other way and try and get out of it. And she'd turn and charge the gate, and you know, I've never driven a horse that was like her, but her and Forbidden Trade are special horses.
Absolutely, and those are clear cuts, I'd say. Any sentimental favorites? Maybe not the best on the racetrack, or hasn't produced the biggest amount of money, but just anyone that's really near and dear to your heart?
Yeah, there's probably a lot of them.
Sure.
You know, if I had 15 minutes to think about that question, I could give you a whole bunch of them. But if I was going to pick a sentimental one, it would be Forbidden Trade. I mean, he's just been so good to me.
For sure. So you were talking a little bit off camera about some of your drives tonight, and I know I have to touch on the Jackpot High 5 race, but anything that really stands out for you in terms of drives tonight? I know you got quite a few in here. These are your drives up here.
The Big Mock and Jim last week, he was really good. He seems to be improving every week. He's coming along a little slower. He's big, he's growthy. Julie Walker and Bert Renault and the owners, they're bringing him along nice and slow, doing right by him. And he showed a big improvement last week, so I think he'll keep going that direction. I think Classic Pro, he's dropping down pretty good, so he should be a factor for sure too.
So I see you're in every single race. Gonna go for the entire card sweep?
If that was possible, I'd try it, but I don't see it happening.
I know, of course. I do have to touch on the Jackpot High 5 race because we have a fantastic carryover, 188,000 plus a lot of new money as well, mandatory payout today. I know you were mentioning a couple of horses in here that stand out. You're on the 9, Play Jet Ray. Any type of, maybe you don't want to give away all your strategies or anything, but how are you looking in that one?
Well, he hasn't come back very good. I mean, I'm not trying to insult anybody, but you can see that on his lines. He's not coming back good. He hasn't been good. Been quite bad, really. So from the 9 hole and an extra horse race, I think he's going to have to get a trip from the back. And sometimes a trip to the back, run him up the wood. Maybe it works out in these big races because there's a lot of extra movement. Horses get parked, so maybe he shakes free and he closes a big quarter because he can come a big cross quarter when he's right, and maybe he can make up enough ground. If not, maybe it'll be a snowball in the right direction and he'll come better next week and progress. But in this race, I'd say the 1 horse Regal Sun, I don't think he's been down that low for a long time. He's a very nice horse. He's got the rail. I'd say he's probably going to cut the mile and he'll be tough to beat.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I'm going with the 11, Bit of Luck, and I think this is someone that could benefit from starting second tier. You're like, oh, there's a second page. Starting second tier doesn't flaunt a lot of early speed, so I don't think it's hindered by that type of second tier starting. Could get away nicely, maybe work out a second over trip. That's what I'm hoping for.
I've driven him a lot, and he is a fast horse and a useful horse. He makes good money, but he never likes to pass the last one, it seems like, but he's worth a shot.
Before we close off tonight, what are your thoughts on starting second tier as a driver? What have you thought about it? Do you like the change?
I do like the change, but obviously they said, well, it made it easier to win from the 10 hole. Well, it made it harder to win from the 9 hole. It's always going to have a double standard. Having said that, if I'm 1 to 5, I want to be on the gate. I'd rather have the 10 hole on the gate. If I'm 5 to 1 to beyond, I'd rather start from the rail. But so it's circumstantial. But if you're a heavy favorite, you want to be on the gate and you want to control things.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's
No
a pleasure
problem.
as always.